Welcome to Chat with Hay. Today, we come to the three critical types of funds that every person who is seeking to be financially stable and successful must keep. The first one is the emergency fund. Every person or a family must have an emergency fund. What is an emergency fund? Emergency fund helps you to answer one critical question. How will you survive if your source of income ceases for some time? It helps you to answer this critical question. The emergency fund helps you to survive and to stay secure in times of critical income loss situation. So the question is, how do you go about creating an emergency fund? First of all, you must define what is an emergency for you. For someone, emergency will be when the primary source of income is seized, or when you lose your business, or when you lose your job and you cannot generate income. So define clearly what that emergency is. The next step to take to build an emergency fund is to determine the list of your monthly non-discretionary expenses. Remember, emergency fund is to help you to bounce back and remain stable during moments of income loss. So the question you must ask yourself is, when you have lost income, what are the critical expenses that you must continue to incur even though you don't earn income? Housing, transportation, and all the critical expenses that whether you make income or not, you must incur. Determine that. Now, after you have determined that, determine how much you spend on those critical expenses on a monthly basis. So, after you have determined those critical expenses, add it. Look at the budget. Let's say on a normal day, you have 5 or 10 items on your budget, but the critical ones you must still incur even if you don't earn income are five of them. Now, the five of them, when you put them together in a month, you spend, let's say, 5,000 Ghana cedi on them. That becomes your the expenditure or the amount you have to raise in a month. Now you must decide for yourself how long you want your emergency fund to cover. So, for instance, you want your emergency fund to cover you for 3 months, for 6 months, or for 1 year. What you need to do is that you have to multiply the 5,000 Ghana cedi a month by either 6 months or 1 year, which is 12 months. After you have done that, for instance, if it is 12 months, that becomes 60,000 Ghana cedi. Now, what you have to do is that with the 60,000 Ghana cedi, you have to create a bank account, open a bank account, and label it in your books as the emergency fund. Now, what you need to do is gradually, on a monthly basis, move money into that account, which is your emergency fund. And after a while, over a period of time, patiently build that fund until you get your 50,000, 60,000 Ghana cedi. When you have built your 60,000 Ghana cedi, you can decide to invest that money in treasury bill so that it will organically grow over a period of time. After you've built your emergency fund, you can decide to reduce how much you deposit into the account so that you can keep growing it gradually and then focus on another thing so that when the real emergency comes, you know that you are covered for a certain period of time and then you will not be hit with the shock that it comes with. The second fund that I would like you to focus on is to build a sinking fund. To build a sinking fund. What is a sinking fund? A sinking fund is that you must plan key expenditures in your life. Don't just sit down and one day you say you want to buy a car and just pick money and go and buy. Or you have to pay school fees for your children and the time comes you don't have the school fees. Or you have to buy something important and you don't have money to buy. You must build what we call the sinking fund. The sinking fund is money that you have put aside with the purpose of paying for some important bill or procuring some critical asset that you want to procure. That is what we call the sinking fund. So your children are in school. You'll be paying school fees. They will be in school for like at least 3 months. You must build a sinking fund so that by the end of the 3 months and they come on vacation and they are going to school, you have their school fees ready. So I always tell people that From the beginning, if you can, try and pay 1 year school fees for your children so that you have 1 year to build your sinking fund to be able to pay the next 1 year school fees for your children. It gives you peace of mind. Even when you lose income, you know for 1 year your children will not be sacked from school, which can be one of the most distraughting situations you can find yourself in. So build your sinking fund. Determine the expenditure you want to incur. Estimate how much it requires to either pay the fee or pay the loan or to buy the asset, and then gradually deposit money into that sinking fund until you are able to raise the money at the time that you need the money to pay for. Don't let expenditure come and hit you. Plan for critical, important expenditures in your life and take control over those expenditures. Don't leave things to chance. Prepare a sinking fund and take care of critical things. Sinking fund also has timelines. So you can have one account open, which you call a sinking fund. And in that sinking fund, you may have 2 or 3 items which are your targets. The total amount you start building gradually. When the time comes, you'll be able to achieve. The last fund that you must keep to remain financially stable is what we call the retirement fund. The retirement fund is important because after you have lived decent life throughout your working life, you shouldn't go into retirement looking miserable and not being able to provide for yourself, especially your critical needs when you go on retirement. Your housing, your health costs, your feeding, it becomes critical. And most people who are on retirement struggle and they die immediately when they go on retirement because in their working life they never imagined that there was going to come a time where they would lose their primary source of income and the pension funds that will be paid to them will not be enough. Take control of yourself. Start preparing a retirement fund and put money into that. Then again, open a bank account. Call it the retirement fund and decide the type of retirement you want for yourself. If you decide that when you go on retirement, you want to be paid 15,000 Ghana cedi, now 15,000 Ghana cedi a month, multiply it by 12, you get 1 year amount. That amount, multiply it by how long you think you would want to live or you may live till the Lord calls you, maybe 10 years after retirement or 15 or 20 years. Multiply that amount by 10, 15 or 20 years. That bulk amount you get, maybe 1 million, maybe 2 million, maybe 4 million, that becomes your retirement fund target. Now, from now that you are working, you have maybe 10 years, 15 years, or 20 years before you go on retirement. Save gradually. Save gradually. In our next session, we are going to look at something very important which is destroying a lot of marriages: how to manage finances as couples in marriage. I hope you will stay tuned and watch that video. May the Lord continue to empower us financially. Stay blessed.